Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Jay Smart, and I am the interim chair of the Department of Psychology. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you a quick overview of the major for those that might be interested or those that are joining us as majors, just to give you a quick overrun of how the flow of our major works. All right, so let's get started. So first, give you some basics. The first thing is that psychology is a major of lots of opportunities. We're what is known as a hub of science, in that we connect to a lot of other disciplines. And that sort of gives you a way to be very flexible in how you tailor your education with psychology. And also gives you some unique opportunities, I think, to engage with the major in different ways. As a major, it is a reasonable sized major with 36 minimum hours required. Most majors take between 40 and 43 hours. 36 can happen based on if you bring in transfer credit or things come from other places. And you would need to talk with the lead department advisor to sort of navigate this if you have questions. What you're going to get out of the major is that you're going to get a breadth of knowledge, a depth of knowledge, and a skill set that are going to be useful in a variety of settings. And the breadth is going to come from both our intro course, which is Psych 111, and from our breadth requirement, which is basically that you're going to take one course from each of our core areas in the department. And I'll talk about what those are in a few seconds here. You're also going to get a depth in that you're going to be able to have a specialization within the major. And this is because it is a hub science. It means that it's pretty broad. So if you just tell people you're a psych major, a lot of times they're not going to know what to do with that. But having a specialization will allow you to be very specific in what it is that you got out of the major. And so that comes to our area of focus, which I'll also talk about in a few minutes. The third part is a skill set that you will emerge with. And these come through our statistics and methodology sequence. And this is going to give you just the tools of the trade. That is the basic things that every psych major or every future practitioner in psychology should know. And we'll talk about these a little bit more in a second. So starting with our intro course, the way into our major is through Psych 111, which gives you an overview of the field of psychology. But there are a number of ways in which you can satisfy this part of the major. You can take EDP 101, which is the intro course through our sister major, Educational Psychology. Or if you have AP or CCP credit or IB credit for 111, those can also count. However, you will still need to take 112 from us. Now, the difference between 111 and 112 is that 111 is introduction to the field. 112 is introduction to us and the opportunities and sort of the hands-on aspects of what you can do with the major. So we'd still require you that you take this course, even if you have credit for 111 or if you have EDP 101. If you're an entering first-year student, we strongly recommend that you take Psych 112M. For that. And in fact, many of you, if you're coming, will be pre-registered for this class. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is our skill set courses. And these are statistics and methods. So it's 2 semesters of statistics, 1 semester of methods and writing. These are the only courses that you have to take in a particular order. So you have to take Stat 261, then 293, then 294. They cannot be stacked on top of each other, so you have to take them sequentially. Now, with this, if you have an appropriate math or stat course that can take the place of Stat 261, or if you have AP credit for 261 or CCP credit for 261, those will all count. Again, just talk to the lead department advisor about that. These courses are also useful because they fulfill other aspects of your education. And in this case, aspects of formal reasoning, quantitative literacy, and advanced writing. All of these things are both college and university level requirements that are satisfied with these courses in the major. So it's not just a good skill set for you as a major, but it also helps you complete other aspects of your education. So for specialization, there's 2 parts of this. First is the area of focus, which is a concentration in a particular aspect of psychology. Once you kind of take your breadth courses and decide, okay, this is the way I want to go, you are able to continue taking courses in that area. You do not have to declare that. So you don't have to tell me or the lead advisor what area of focus you're interested in. You just continue to take courses in that area and it'll update in your transcript automatically. Dovetailed with that is our requirement that you take 4 upper level classes. And what that means is classes at the 300 or 400 level. These are not separate from the area of focus courses. So you can do both of those at the same time. And these include our capstone requirement, which is a senior level seminar that usually, or not usually, always involves some application of the knowledge you've had through the major. You take these in your senior year, there'll be a project involved with usually a presentation for that. But what they give you is an ability to talk about a specific aspect of psychology that you're interested in. So that's the overlay of the major. So you get a breadth, a depth, and a set of skills that you can take wherever you go with you. All right, so let's talk about the more details. So we're just gonna walk through the areas so you can have an idea what that looks like. So our areas are biopsychology, cognitive, developmental, individual, and social. And I'm just gonna go through those in alphabetical order for that. So the first one, biopsychology, which is on your screen, looks at the physiological underpinnings of behavior. So interested in how the nervous system functions and helps us to actually do the things that we do. So completion of this area of focus involves taking 3 of the courses that are here on the screen. Now, these courses also connect with both our neuroscience co-major and our neuroscience minor, which can be added to your program as well. And again, you can talk to the lead department advisor about that. There's also a great opportunity for upper-level students that would like to get some researching in this area through the BERT-BN program, which is Broadening Undergraduate Research Experience in Behavioral Neuroscience. It's by application. You do this in your junior year, going into your junior year, and it consists of 3 courses that together give you a very intense but very real lab experience in neuroscience, culminating with a project in the 3rd course. So if you're interested in that, you can contact the lead department advisor as well for that. And they can get you connected with the right people for that. All right, cognitive, next area, is the study of kind of the how part of mental life. So it looks at things like memory, attention, perception, decision-making, problem-solving, language, and motor control. So how we actually move around for that. So completion of this area of focus is just by taking 3 of these courses. Now, these are also part of a thematic sequence, which is part of the Miami Plan requirements. And this is part of the Sci-5. So 3 of these courses go into the Sci-5 requirement for that. And for more information, just contact the department. A quick note is that those entering in the fall of 22, you will be the last group that has to complete a thematic sequence for that. So if you are prior to this fall, you have to do the thematic sequence. If you're coming in after, say, fall of 23, you will not have to do this requirement. But for now, just know that this is part of a way to satisfy thematic sequences for the Miami Plan. Developmental basically looks at how our function and processes develop over the lifespan. So how do we acquire skills? How do we acquire competencies as we age? This is completed by taking the base course 231. And a note about 231 is that it is a lifespan course. That is, it goes from birth to adulthood. So if you're transferring in a developmental course, please check with the lead department advisor to make sure that the courses actually match for that. This is also part of the thematic sequence. So if you are taking thematic sequence or interested in this particular area, this is the Sci-2 thematic sequence. All right, our next area of focus is individual. And this would be what most people see as our clinical aspect. And what this is basically looking at how mental function happens and how we treat when things don't quite go as planned. So this is also part of a thematic sequence. This is the Sci-1 sequence for that. And again, just to keep throwing that out there, the entering class this year will be the last one to have to do this requirements. Now, completion of this is by doing 242, 343, and 345. If there are substitutions, please contact the lead department advisor to help with that. Lastly is social, and that's just by alphabet, not because of importance. So social is looking at how we as individuals deal with each other in terms of in social context. And in particular, our department has a concentration in health and social behavior. So how do these things advance our well-being, our interactions help with our well-being? Completion of this area focus involves taking the base course, Psych 221, and then 2 of the advanced courses as we go through. Now, what's very interesting is that we also have combination areas. So there are areas that sort of put a number of parts of the major together to kind of give you some neat ways to combine your interest. So the first one of these is the culture and diversity area focus. And this has Psych 210 as its base course, Psych Across Cultures. It is a blend of social developmental individual courses. And what it is focused on is looking at how psychological principles can be interpreted differently or applied differently or should be modified based on culture. And how, so theory that's developed in the US might look very different for an Eastern culture, or say an African culture. There might be some different things that have to be addressed. So this gives you an appreciation of how those things kind of intersect with each other. This is a great choice if you're interested in working in diverse communities, or if you have maybe interest in human resources, things where you have to kind of look at different perspectives. Our next one is the Decisions, Leadership, and Organization area of focus. And I want to spend a second to talk about this because of a couple of things. One, it appears separately on your degree audits because it has a different structure, not because you have to take it or complete this one. It has 2 core courses as opposed to the single core course that the other area foci have. So this is not a have to, but because it was structured differently, it appears separately on your transcripts. It is also the only area of focus that allows us to use a course from our regional major, Psychological Science, and that is Psychological Science 310, which is Introduction to Industrial Organizational Psychology. This is a great choice if you're interested in more management or industrial organizational aspects of psychology. And there's also some connections with other departments, which I'll talk about shortly. Our last combination one is the Persuasion, Intervention, and Behavioral Change area of focus, which is a mix of social developmental and cognitive courses. And it's a great choice if you're interested more in the marketing or persuasion aspects of psychology for that. This has the base course for 221 and then 2 of the other courses that you see listed here. All right, so that should give you a quick rundown of the aspects of the major. A couple things I'll leave you with is that there are also lots of ways to get engaged outside of the classroom. We are very research active faculty. We all involve undergraduates in our research. So if you're interested in doing research at all, you do not have to wait. You can do that from the semester you walk in the door. There's a list of labs that can be found on our psychology webpage. We have an open house at the beginning of every semester where you can just come and talk to us about the things that we're doing. And that can translate into opportunities for doing your own research and maybe doing a thesis in your senior year. We also have several student interest groups. We have a student peer advising center, which is a Center for Psychological Inquiry. We have a student-run publication that runs through us, which is Compass. And we have 2 honor societies, Psych and Neurosci, which is the Psychology and Neuroscience honor societies for that. I also want to suggest that there are other connections that are pretty directly tied to us. We have 2 4+1 programs, which are combined undergraduate master's programs, one through educational psychology and one through family science and social work. We have 2 co-majors that tie through us, neuroscience and art therapy. And there are several related majors that we tie very deeply with, sociology, gerontology, anthropology, organizational leadership, and linguistics. So those are just options to give you so that if you're trying to think about how you can make the major your own and kind of have a unique kind of experience with it, these are great things to talk about. And again, please talk to your lead department if you have any questions. You can contact us at the emails below. And I hope this was useful for you. So if you're coming in as a major, welcome. If you're thinking about the major, hopefully it'll help you give you an idea about what we're about. And if you just had a general interest in what psychology might look like at Miami, I hope this was helpful. In any case, please have a fantastic day and look forward to talking with you again. Take care, everyone.